now, these companies are able to operate under extremely friendly conditions. And given that, it's worth looking.
In like all of these different billionaires, and well, not all of these, but a lot of these billionaires and these different companies and stuff like that are, you know, the administration is loosely regulating. They're just raking it in. AI is the same thing. Prediction markets, like no holds barred. Hey, I'm in here for 4 years. Get all the money you can get. It's a fire sale. Rack it all up. He had all billionaires at his inauguration. So essentially he's saying, hey, I'm in here. Y'all better follow suit. Get all the money that you can. And, you know, because things are obviously going to change once I'm gone. So I'm going to hook y'all up for 4 years and make it worthwhile. Take advantage. That's it. That's all there is to it. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Trey.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Back at it with another video.
Another one.
And first and foremost, thanks to everybody that's been subscribing. I'm a new YouTuber, so it means a lot. It's helping me continue to grow. And yeah, thanks for all the love and support. Today, we're going to be reacting to Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. And this one is obviously a real interesting show, but this one specifically, he's talking about the prediction markets, right? And I've been hearing a lot about prediction markets for a long time, and yeah, just appreciate how he put it together. As I've told y'all plenty of times before, I like having a little bit of comedy with my news. It helps me to laugh through the tears, you know what I mean? So with that being said, this is my first time reacting to Last Week Tonight. I'm going to put the hater blockers on because I'm pretty sure, you know, it's copywritten and all that good stuff. But, you know, so if y'all want to go and watch the videos without the hater blockers on there, y'all have to go to Last Week Tonight. They have it on YouTube also.
The thing is, it's worth knowing that in reality, as with sportsbooks, researchers have found that most users of Kalshi and PolyMarket lose money. As we've discussed before, casual gamblers are always going to be easy prey for more sophisticated operators with advanced systems to give them an edge, which is probably why. While PolyMarket has more than 2 million users, one analysis found more than 2/3 of all money won on it was held by just 740 accounts. And
millions of users, but most of the money won on it is won by 740 accounts. Getting played, and this is not chump change that people are winning off of these prediction markets either. They are winning stupid money, and mostly based off of having the insider information, which whatever.
you're thinking, how exactly are these companies getting away with all this? Well, a lot has to do with who is in the White House right now. Both companies have fostered strong connections with the Trump family. In fact, Don Jr. is both an investor in and an unpaid advisor to PolyMarket and a paid advisor to Kalshi. And look, I am not saying that Don Jr. isn't providing important or valuable insights, although in a much truer sense, I very much am saying that. I'm just saying, it's notable.
Can we, again, you know, in a lot of these videos, you know what I'm saying? If y'all are here with me, you know what I'm saying, we're in this together. So I know that y'all know. But for the people that may be, you know, linking up with me in passing, this blatant corruption and being able to get away with this blatant corruption, yeah, I don't know if it should be applauded, or I know it should be, you know, them held accountable and them fucking going to jail. But the fact that they can get it off in plain sight and nobody cares, not only does nobody care, not many people really question it. The president doesn't have to answer questions about it. And I haven't heard from Donald Trump Jr. in forever, but I'm not looking for him either. But yeah, and this level of corruption is just, they are just raking in the money, like Scrooge McDuck kind of swimming in the gold vault. You know what I mean?
Just how hard it was for Kalshi's CEO to answer a series of basic questions about Don Jr.'s role.
Why did you guys make Donald Trump Jr. a strategic advisor?
We have a lot of advisors, and they span across the board, across different functions. But really, this is all about growing this industry, the prediction market industry that a lot of people really believe in.
What kind of advice does he give you?
So it really is, again, about growing prediction markets. You know, he believes in prediction markets, we believe in prediction markets, a lot of people believe in prediction markets, and it's really about go-to-market and expansion plans.
Does he come to meetings? How much do you pay him? What's his role? I mean, this is the son of the president.
We have a lot of advisors, and whether it's our investors, whether it's
Come on. Like, you can't make this stuff up.
people that we really trust and respect. Whether
He's
people,
not just any advisor. He has a direct line to the White House.
we have a lot of advisors.
Like, yes, direct line to the White House. This is crazy. Explain yourself. And he obviously doesn't do it, and he doesn't have to. They are making all the rules.
Yeah. Turns out it's pretty hard to justify hiring a Nepo baby, or, in Don Jr.'s case, a Nepo divorced dad. But the thing is, if hiring Don Jr. helped get these companies on Trump's good side, it's a bet that's paid off massively for them. Because while the Biden administration had at least tried to rein in some of what these markets were doing, the Trump administration has gone hard in the other direction. And to understand the degree to which that's the case, take a look at the CFTC, or Commodity Futures Trading Commission. It regulates these platforms, and it was actually empowered under the Dodd-Frank Act in 2010 to block event contracts about terrorism, assassination, war, and gaming. You know, a bunch of what you've seen so far tonight. But it is clearly not doing that, and it doesn't even seem to be trying. In fact, while the CFTC is supposed to be comprised of 5 commissioners, 2 of whom are required to belong to the minority party, it currently only has this guy, Michael Selig, a Trump appointee who's a massive cheerleader for this industry. He completely buys into their whole "this is all about hedging risk" argument, to the point that he once suggested that somebody with a medical condition could manage the potential risk of having a future treatment or medical costs by placing a bet on the likelihood of something passing a drug trial, which is, and I don't say this lightly, one of the most fucked up suggestions I have ever heard for this country's Guernica-ass healthcare system. And while Selig's recently made noises about stronger enforcement, it is hard to take him at his word, given that during his confirmation hearings, he told Congress he'd let courts decide whether these companies constitute gambling. But in office, he's done the exact opposite of that. In fact, more than a dozen states are currently suing prediction markets, but rather than let that play out in the courts, like he promised, Selig posted this video.
To those who seek to challenge our authority in this space, let me be clear. We will see you in court.
What a fucking weasel. That guy has both the energy and fashion sense of a Suits villain who goes toe-to-toe with Harvey and Mike all season long, while Lewis and Meghan Markle, I don't care what you say, that's a character name to me, watch on. But he's done more than just threaten. Selig's led his agency to sue 3 states to get them to back off trying to regulate prediction markets. So right now, these companies are able to operate under extremely friendly conditions. And given that, it's worth looking
In like all of these different billionaires, and well, not all of these, but a lot of these billionaires and these different companies and stuff like that that are, the administration is loosely regulating. They're just raking it in. AI is the same thing. Prediction markets, like no holds barred. Hey, I'm in here for 4 years. Get all the money you can get. It's a fire sale. Rack it all up. He had all billionaires at his inauguration. So essentially he's saying, hey, I'm in here. Y'all better follow suit. Get all the money that you can. And, because things are obviously going to change once I'm gone. So I'm going to hook y'all up for 4 years. Hey, make it worthwhile. Take advantage. That's it. That's all there is to it.
at some of the problems that have already begun to emerge, starting with the fact that for a lot of these bets, it is incredibly easy for individuals to manipulate the outcomes. Some have even joked about that. For instance, on a recent earnings call, the CEO of Coinbase said this.
I was a little distracted because I was tracking the prediction market about what Coinbase will say on their next earnings call, and I just want to, add here the words Bitcoin, Ethereum, blockchain, staking, and Web3 to make sure we get those in before the end of the call.
Make sure we get those in before the end of the call, so a whole bunch of people just made a bunch of money. And obviously he knew about it, so he could have been one of those people. Like, the people could have called and paid him, like, whatever, man. And a whole bunch of people lost money too, by the way. Like, so in order for those people to win the money, the others had to lose. So it's just, this is what a world we're living in.
Yeah, he saw people's bets online and just rattled off words that they bet on him saying. And it really feels like manipulating betting outcomes should be more difficult than that. In the old days, you at least had to sneak cocaine to a racehorse, not just rattle off a list of the most punchable words in the English language. We even realised while researching this piece that there was betting happening around this show, specifically on what words I'd say during our show on February 22nd, which is stupid for multiple reasons, including that we tape on Saturday in front of a studio audience, all of whom would then have a massive information advantage and more than 24 hours before the betting window closed. Now, thankfully, we wipe every audience member's memory before we let them out of the taping. We try to erase only the last couple of hours, but sometimes we do wipe clean a milestone birthday. That's on us, and we're constantly calibrating the technology. You've been warned. You won't remember, but you've been warned. And there are markets where it is way too easy for anyone to manipulate outcomes. Just last summer, you might remember a bunch of arseholes started throwing dildos on the court during WNBA games to promote a crypto meme coin. And if that wasn't already...
And I remember when this was happening, like, it just seemed so off the wall, so just out of pocket weird that, you know, people were trying to figure out, like, why is this happening? When did it, like, why did it become a thing? Well,
a cursed enough sentence. I'll let this South African man fill you in on what happened next.
Did you know you can actually bet on whether a dildo will be thrown at the WNBA game on August 9th, August 11th, that's today, and August 12th, right here on PolyMarket? I had no idea. Actually, I had no idea what the WNBA was either until, you know, you could place a bet on whether a dildo would be thrown at it.
That's so
Yeah,
sad.
none of that is great. And it is pretty depressing that the way he learned about the existence of the WNBA was finding out you could bet on whether a dildo would be thrown at one of its games. It'd be like finding out about the existence of Robert De Niro by Googling the cast of Dirty Grandpa. Oh, no, not like this. Don't learn about him like this. But it is true. People started betting whether dildos would be thrown again, and PolyMarket even put up this tweet promoting the bets. And sure enough, more dildos got thrown. And that could well have been because PolyMarket had just created a situation where you could easily make money by betting someone would throw a dildo and then going to a game with a dildo and throwing it. There have also been multiple instances of people seeming to use inside information to game these markets. Last year, a trader made over $1 million with a series of accurate bets about Google's rankings of its most searched people of 2025. That same person, by the way, had also earned over $150,000 by correctly predicting the exact release date of Google's Gemini 3 model, which really makes you think that that person either worked for Google or knew someone who did, or maybe managed to hack Google from the outside, in which case, would it kill you to do a Google Doodle for my birthday? It is on Thursday, by the way. And PolyMarket CEO has in the past openly celebrated the fact that this...
It just seems like, especially whenever there's like a rule-based system or there's certain criteria that needs to be met. Like, okay, we're just talking about betting. Let's just stick with betting. If you can skew the odds in your favor, if you can rig the game, you will rig the game. And if this is all based on, these are predictions on what people might do and what things might happen and stuff like that, and you have that information, you are going to use that information to your benefit. Somebody is always going to make that decision to increase their own personal wealth than, you know, what's right. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody has information about, you know, the ongoing war in Iran and when an attack will happen, or what will be attacked and things of that nature. They will go on these markets and place bets and or try and influence that thing to happen. Like if they have the proximity to the president or the Department of Defense, like all these different things, you will try and leverage that to make that money. So that's where it becomes this big moral and ethical dilemma, because it's like, yeah, are you doing this because it's the right thing to do or because it's gonna pay you the best? Like, whatever, man.
This kind of thing can happen on his platform because he's argued it just makes its prediction abilities that much stronger.
What do you guys do, if anything, to basically guard against insider trading?
Yeah. So it goes back to this idea of information markets, right? Like you think about when will Gemini 3 launch? Nobody is under the impression that nobody knows the answer, right? Like, of course, there's people who are working on it who know when it's going to come. And I think what's cool about PolyMarket is that it creates this financial incentive for people to go and divulge the information to the market, and the market to change, and all of a sudden it's trading at 95 cents, and people are like,
when you say divulge, you mean the people who actually know?
Yeah, or someone tells someone and then the market responds.
Yeah, he basically just answered the question, how do you guard against insider trading there, with no. And he did it with a fashion choice somehow even worse than his biker jacket, because what in the NYU Army fatigues is that shit? That sweater looks like it was made from illegally poached Grimace. But also, I don't care how many statement sweaters you wear or how many Ben Platt and Dear Evan Hansen haircuts you have. You're not describing some edgy, chill way to divulge information to the market. You're describing insider trading. And again,
it just was, yes, that is what you were describing. Like, and that is what you're encouraging. That is the way to make money. Find somebody with the information, get said information, place the bet.
It's genuinely chilling when you realize that people seem to be using insider info to bet on life or death events. In January, after the US seized Nicolas Maduro, an anonymous trader pocketed more than $400,000 off bets that would happen, with the bulk of those bets made mere hours before the raid was announced. In February, 2 Israelis were charged with using classified military information to place bets on PolyMarket, and in March, this happened.
Deadly American strikes, and some people may have made money from them. More than a dozen anonymous accounts placed bets predicting that the United States would strike Iran by Saturday the 28th of February. Most of those wagers were placed in the hours before the first bombs fell, and many of the accounts had been created only days earlier. One of the biggest winners used the account name MAGA My Man. The trader placed $87,000 on a war with Iran exactly 71 minutes before the first strike, winning a jackpot worth $515,000.
Yeah, that's
So somebody, in all likelihood, right? Somebody in the current administration or in Israel, whatever, somebody involved with the planning of these strikes used that to their benefit to the tune of $500,000. And or argued for it to happen so they could go on, put this bet and make $500,000. You know what I'm saying? They supported this thing because they knew, like, shit, hey, if I can convince them to do this, hey, I'm about to run this bag up. And then probably continue to use that 550 mil to, $550,000 to make even more as the war continues to progress.
Your feels like someone with inside information was betting on PolyMarket, and I'd say that it wasn't a great idea to make their username MAGA My Man, except it doesn't seem to matter anymore, does it? His username might as well have been MAGA My Man, just kidding, my name is Dylan Barthwell and I work at the Department of Defense. He's not really risking much. Now, I should say, Kalshi just announced it took action in 2 insider trading cases and has taken out billboards bragging that it bans insider trading and also that it doesn't offer death markets, which is a little weird. It'd be like McDonald's putting up ads that its nuggets don't contain baby meat. OK, Mama, but now I have way more questions. For its part, PolyMarket recently updated its rules to clarify that users can't act on stolen confidential information, wager using illegal tips, or bet if they're in a position to influence the outcome of an event. Although it is not a great sign that just recently there was a suspicious spike in trading right before the ceasefire with Iran was announced, as a group of new accounts on PolyMarket made highly specific, well-timed bets about it, earning hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it sure seems like right now we've effectively got gambling sites operating even in states where gambling is illegal and offering bets on things that there have been laws against for over a decade now. So what can we do? Well, at the bare minimum, the CFTC should be doing more. And while it says it's writing new rules, I wouldn't expect much, especially for as long as this fucking guy is in charge. As I said earlier, there are a bunch of cases making their way through the courts right now, but it's not clear how they'll resolve, and it's probably going to be in front of the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, Congress is considering a number of proposals tackling aspects of this issue, although, given that the President of the United States has a kid currently advising both major companies, I wouldn't hold your breath. So meaningful policy shifts in the near term do seem unlikely, but at some point, we do need to put in place some basic guardrails here. And until then, if we can't change how these sites operate, we should at least try and change how we individually see them. One thing that would frankly help is if news organisations stopped laundering these companies' reputations for them by putting their odds on screen like they are actual news, because is it a bad idea for them to be doing that? If I may quote the single loudest man in the world.
So we're going to stop this one there, right? Because this is just a snippet from the entirety of the episode. So yeah, y'all can go and check out the whole video on the YouTube page, or if y'all got HBO, y'all can go and watch it live, watch it off of there. But I mean, y'all let me know. This is crazy stuff. This is, you know, just blatant corruption. Yeah, just in our face. And right now, like I said, it's not going to stop during this administration. And like I said, all of these people are just going to make money hand over fist, and the regulation will come afterwards, and we'll see if anybody's held accountable. But obviously, if y'all learned something from the video, share it with your people. Get the word out there that this crazy shit is going on. Keep the information going. Keep the conversation keep the information flowing, keep the conversation going. And until next time, I'll holla at you.
I pop out, they go out, so celebrity. Too busy winning, I forgot that I got frenemies.